Good morning. Believe about to be good to go here on all of our various platforms. Give me a moment. Get the other one up. Come on now. Start streaming. There we go. There we go. Okay. We're good. Beautiful. Let me... Good morning, everyone, by the way. Let me get all set up here. Oh, hold on. Got one more thing to do on the stream machine. Before I switch my BNC off here. Come on. All right. There we are. Mucho better. All right, let me pull up my browser here, and we'll get cooking. There we go. All right, let's see. I know Steph's already at it. I don't know if I have anything since I saw you guys late last night. I probably don't. Yeah, I don't. But that's just as well. Already going, so. Busy morning already. Like, very nice. I need my caffeine now. Yeah. There we are. All right. President signing congressional bills at 4 p.m. That's it. Otherwise, a completely empty day. Wait, what? Hold up. What is this? Young Washington tells the untold story of America's first president like never before. The perfect film for America's 250th. Angel Studios thing. Oh, they're one of the first to figure out they can make big money doing this. It shocks me that others haven't done it yet.
What happened, Washington? All those bullet holes in your jacket.
Oh, God, what's his name in this, huh? Kingsley, right?
Bullet holes in your jacket.
It's a bit fuzzy, hard to tell there.
Chat, I think you're muted.
Oh, muted on DLive. Look at that. Thank you. Oopsie. How that happens. Anyway. Where's my chat not working? Need a refresh? I guess it does. Yep. Oh, well, there's all of your muteds. Nice. At least YouTube could hear me. All right, let's see.
How are you alive?
I don't know. You have no military service. You are a boy. You are not British, yet they send you to speak for them. So that when you fail, they'll have someone to blame.
Young Washington, you lost in the New World.
Who does own this land, if not the one who has the will to tame it? You do not want to start a war.
What do we do?
fight!
Yeah, okay, it was Ben Kingsley. Very, very good.
On the ground! There is no retreat! What are you called?
My name is George Washington.
This has got to be about his
Help us
time in
make
the,
this the #1 movie.
would have been the French and Indian Wars, I guess. Let's look it up. Oops. Got the George. Okay, let's see. Colonial military career. It looks like that's when this is based on. Yeah, French and Indian War. Interesting. Cool. That is a heretofore untapped part of history. We haven't touched early American history when it comes to filmmaking, really. There's, you know, the old Stand By, The Patriot, but that's about it. You know, there are a handful of other ones here and there, but by and large, it's completely untouched. There's so many stories from back then to pull from. Amazing stories. I look forward to that. So they are releasing this for the 250th. That's a smart move by them. It'll get big money. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Wish there were more people out there that realize this. Angel Studios so far. All right. Irina's law just took full effect in North Carolina. Cashless bail is officially eliminated for a swath of crimes. Law ensures many more dangerous criminals can't be released by liberal judges. Good. House and Senate both back in session today. After Thanksgiving recess, House preps bill called the Batting the Lies of Authoritarians in School Systems Act. No idea. And the Dump Red Tape Act for the floor. Ooh. Post from Minnesota. I don't want Grok to explain the post. Stupid freaking thing getting in the way. Post from Minnesota Department of Human Services exposing Tim Waltz for covering up massive fraud has 31.5 million views and counting. Tampon Tim Waltz is toast. Definitely not a good look for him. Ooh-wee. Okay. Pre-trial hearings beginning for Luigi Mangione.
This hearing today could make or break the case against Luigi Mangione. You know, his defense lawyers are going to try to get some key evidence in this case thrown out. The 27-year-old Mangione, who will be back in court here today in civilian clothes, he is, of course, accused of gunning down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last December. That as a revenge against insurance companies that too often deny patients' claims. His backpack that Altoona, Pennsylvania police officers searched when he was arrested 5 days after the shooting at a McDonald's, well, that could be potential devastating evidence against him if it's allowed in. But Mangione's lawyers say the 3D printed gun, the silencer, the red notebook with his writings, an iPhone and USB flash drives that police say they found in that backpack Well, all that should be excluded because they say the cops did not have a search warrant allowing them to rummage through the backpack. His lawyer, Karen Agnafilo, cited police officer Christy Wasser saying, quote, Patrolwoman Wasser recovered a gun magazine loaded with bullets. Now realizing she had made a potentially devastating mistake by thoroughly searching the backpack without a warrant, she suddenly stated she was searching through the backpack at the McDonald's to make sure that there wasn't a bomb or anything in there. But prosecutors say the search was justified.
That sounds reasonable.
Because police were concerned for their safety, and some Supreme Court rulings have backed that. Mangione's lawyers will also try to bar the statements that he made to police when he was nabbed. The defense claims cops surrounded him at that McDonald's table, questioned him for 20 minutes before they read him his Miranda rights. It was
That's definitely sketchy.
only then, after 20 minutes, they say, when they did read him his rights, and that Mangione said he did not want to talk anymore. The hearing could go basically through the week. There were 28 witnesses who are expected to be called to testify here. You know, the terrorism charges against Mangione were thrown out. The defense successful in that at a previous hearing in September. And in about 2 hours from now, we expect his supporters to rally outside here. The group People Over Profits, that protest against insurance companies and support the alleged murderer, back outside court showing.
Crazy. Freaking crazy, man. Kamala Harris is Secret Service detail to be questioned by the in the January 6th pipe bombing in front of the RNC and DNC. Who's getting questioned, though? Oh, 7 specific individuals. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. We request that you make the following individuals available for transcribed interviews with the select subcommittee. All redacted. Interesting. Cool. Taiwan says test flights of U.S. fighter jets to start this month. They're buying a bunch of jets from us or something. Yeah. $8 billion deal for 66 planes. Not too bad.
Since 1981.
Oh, the official 2025 White House Christmas ornament honoring 150 years of state dinners at the White House.
The White House Historical Association has created the official White House Christmas ornament. These ornaments have been made in America by the same veteran-founded business, and their designs are inspired by the vibrant history of the White House, told through unique and special stories of presidencies and anniversaries during the 225-year history of the People's House. The official 2025 White House Christmas ornament celebrates 150 years of White House state dinners by featuring 2 of the 16 state services of White House China. One side of the ornament features the iconic red-rimmed Reagan China, and on the reverse is the gold Clinton bicentennial China from the
It's a bit goofy, but okay.
the year 2000. Throughout the year, the White House Historical Association will highlight how social and culinary diplomacy shaped White House history, how state dinners are essential to American statecraft, and how the White House serves as a ceremonial and diplomatic stage for presidents, first ladies, and the American people. The proceeds from these ornaments directly support the education mission of the White House Historical Association. These ornaments are more than a retail product. They are a teaching tool.
Not a bad little idea, I guess. Kind of neat. But like, did dinner plates are gonna base them on China? Okay. Whatever. All the things to commemorate, I would not have landed on that, but okay then. First Lady Melania Trump decorates the White House for Christmas. Home is where the heart is. I guess that's the theme here.
Well,
Oh, America 250. Got the 250. going there. Lego portraits of Presidents Trump and Washington. Lego portraits. Who knew such a thing existed? Wow. Cool. Got the tree done up. Quite nice this year. All right. Jonathan Weinhagen, former Minneapolis Chamber CEO, and Tim Waltz donor expected to plead guilty on 5 counts of bank and wire fraud after embezzling over $200,000. Roughly $290,000 in Minneapolis taxpayer money vanished during his tenure. Is that all?
Now to what's being called devastating news. That's the reaction just in to crimes a former Minneapolis chamber leader is accused of.
Jonathan Weinhagen is facing federal fraud charges tonight.
Callan Gray has been digging into the accusations. She's live in Minneapolis right now with what she's found.
Tonight, there are new calls for accountability from those personally affected by the crimes he's accused of. One grandfather of a shooting victim calling it unbelievable.
The indictment says from December 2019 through June 2024, former Minneapolis Regional Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Jonathan Weinhagen embezzled, quote, hundreds of thousands of dollars from the chamber and its business members. It says he entered into sham contracts with a fake consulting company he created and used an alias, James Sullivan, and at one point opened a line of credit in the Chamber of Commerce's name, used it for personal expenses, and diverted donations from chamber business members to repay the money. But for some in Minneapolis, the most upsetting charge is for mail fraud. It says the Chamber of Commerce gave $30,000 to Crime Stoppers to fund rewards for information leading to an arrest in 3 shootings in May 2021 that killed 2 children and severely injured a third. A year later, it says Weinhagen requested Crime Stoppers return the money, and when he got the check, he, quote, stole the money and used it to pay for his personal expenses.
This is devastating news.
KG Wilson's 6-year-old granddaughter, Anaya Allen, was one of the children killed in May 2021.
For me to hear this today, it crushed my heart. It crushed my heart and it angered me.
The reward, he says, could be critical in encouraging someone to come forward.
It's just unreal that we have human beings that are capable of being that heartless, that greedy, to say, I don't care about these children who were shot and killed. I don't care about their families. I don't care about the communities who were hurt behind this. I'm going to take this money.
Wilson worried this could discourage people from donating to rewards in the future.
Why would you?
Oh, you bet it will.
You take from that. So the accountability to me is for him to turn that money back in and deal with the consequences in a courtroom for doing something like this.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Speaking of consequences, President Trump has posted the exact U.S. law that seditious Senator Mark Kelly and other congressional Democrats likely violated. Oh, is he hitting on it? Yep, Title 18, Chapter 115, Section 2387. Whoever, with the intent to interfere, impair, influence the loyalty, morale, or discipline of the military and naval forces, be fined or imprisoned up to 10 years. Commander Kirk Lippold, U.S. Navy, retired. This is right on point. Do what has to be done. I don't know. I guess Mr. Lippold gave an interview somewhere. Look it up. Commander Kirk Lippold. Okay. Can we find him talking? It's all going to be results of Trump saying this. Yeah. We'd like to see Mr. Lippold's interview where he discusses this, but oh well. Oh well. I tried. U.S. District Judges James Boasberg and Deborah Boardman have declined to appear before a Senate hearing entitled Impeachment, Holding Rogue Judges Accountable.
A legal storm is brewing on Capitol Hill.
Just continuing to behave like rogue judges, I guess. Somehow they think they can just ignore this and it'll go away.
District Judges James Boasberg and Deborah Boardman both turning down requests to testify at a Senate hearing this week entitled Impeachment, Holding Rogue Judges Accountable. Boasberg, whose series of judgments regarding the Trump administration have ignited a legal firestorm, including his decision to restrict the White House's use of the Alien Enemies Act to deport Venezuelans. There have also been questions about his apparent role in Arctic frost, that FBI investigation that allegedly tracked the private communications and phone calls of nearly a dozen Republican lawmakers. As for Boardman, well, no stranger to controversy after ruling against the administration's effort to restrict birthright citizenship. So the question is, where do things go from here? And we want to discuss all that with another great legal eagle, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General Tom Dupree. Tom, good to have you with us. I don't think I'm breaking any news by saying Judge Boasberg is legal enemy number one in many cases, especially from the Trump administration's perspective. What, if anything, do you make of his refusal to testify?
Well, Kevin, I thought you put it well, that neither of these judges is any stranger to controversy, and the fact that both judges have declined to testify before the Senate doesn't surprise me in the least. They were invited to a hearing to testify about their possible impeachment. I can promise you that the last thing in the world they would want to do or have any interest in doing is answering questions under oath from the United States senators. So it doesn't surprise me they took a pass. My guess.
Of course. I mean, if it's optional, of course they're going to. Green Room's theme is home is where the heart is, family fun. Oh, there's the Lego portraits again. Incredible gesture. President Trump has invited fallen West Virginia National Guard member Sarah Beckstrom's family to the White House after the attack.
Bring the Beckstroms to the White House. Do you
I do. I've already suggested it. I said, when you're ready, because it's a tough thing, come to the White House. We're going to honor Sarah. And likewise with Andrew, recover or not, we're going to honor.
And Mr. President, one more question about Wickoff. Bring the Beckstroms to the White House.
U.S. Supreme Court oral argument. Cox Communications versus Sony Music on Sony's lawsuit against Cox Communications. Whether providers may be held liable for their users' copyright infringements. Oh, that's a big deal. It is definitely a big case. That could definitely get interesting. Voter fraud case in Minnesota ties Somali communities with registering fake Democrat voters.
Allegations in a Minnesota voter fraud case that first came to light this summer.
Oh boy.
People pleaded guilty in federal court to being paid to help register voters. In all, 500 to 600 fraudulent voter registration applications were submitted to election officials in offices in 13 Minnesota counties. Esme Murphy has been following this case, and she joins us now. Esme?
Hi there, Frank. It was some sharp election workers in Carver County who realized the names and addresses on the voter registration forms did not match with any county residents. Prosecutors charged 2 people with 1 count each of voter registration fraud. According to the charging documents, the 2 were paid by an unnamed foundation to help register voters. The 2 defendants pled guilty this summer and have since moved out of state. The scope of the 2-year FBI and state investigation was not previously known.
And it's very significant that they said today it was 13 counties, between 500 and 600 fake voter registrations. And that's just from 2 2 of the independent contractors that worked with this group.
The investigation involves scouring hundreds of records.
On guidance from the FBI, the voter registration applications were mailed directly to the election lead, and instructions were shared to use gloves when handling the forms.
In testimony before the committee, Minnesota Secretary of State Steve Simon says the system designed to catch voter fraud worked.
This is a case about individuals who conspired to submit false voter registration applications. This is not a case about fraudulent votes. And this is ultimately a case of the system working.
How many were in the system?
I don't know that that's quite how I would put it, but okay.
Is challenged.
Republican Committee Chair Kristen Robbins, who is running for governor, says she has additional concerns that the unnamed foundation that paid the 2 workers is funded by state taxpayer dollars.
99% of their budget comes from state grants. So this is a group that the state is funding and that then went out and did these voter registrations.
Now, the hearing left a lot of people, including us, with a lot of questions that were not answered. One of the big ones.
How is Zelensky and Macron meeting in Paris? Current IRS defying President Trump by refusing to strip 501c3 statuses from nonprofits that are importing Islamic immigrants and nonprofits tied to Islamic Jihad and mass migration. What is the IRS doing? I mean, allegedly. Like, what is the deal here? They're refusing to strip. All right. Why is Besant refusing to comply? Trump ordered Besant and Bondi to do this. An executive order, September 25th. Could be a process that just takes a little time. Got to get legal affairs in order, squared away. I's dotted, T's crossed. It happens. I mean, I would like to see the question answered fully, for sure. Elton John reveals how Trump could become one of the greatest presidents in history. What? Elton John, huh? Excuse me. Okay, he revealed to Variety magazine that Trump ending the AIDS epidemic could solidify his place in history. Well, you would say that, wouldn't you? Elton. Okay. If he ended AIDS, that would really be a feather in his cap. Elton John never endorsed the president, even declined to sing at his 2016 inauguration. That's right, I remember that. Despite their long-term friendship, the singer previously said he found it funny that the president nicknamed North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un as Little Rocket Man, a reference to his iconic song. I laughed. I thought that was brilliant. I just thought, good on you, Donald. I've always been friendly toward him, and I thank him for his support. Fair enough. Very good. Respect. Did not know that about Mr. Elton John. Sir Elton John. That's right. Forgot about that. I didn't recall that they were friends. Still are, I guess. Doesn't sound like that's changed, so. Okay. Pardon me, excuse me. Special Envoy Witkoff heads to Russia on the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Today, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is heading to Moscow. He'll have meetings with Russian officials later this week. It comes as the White House is pushing hard, both privately and publicly, to reach a peace deal before the end of this year. Over the holiday weekend, we saw U.S. and Ukrainian officials sit down in Florida, of all places. Secretary of State Marco Rubio calling the talks comprehensive and that they also went beyond the regular talking points.
We had another very productive session building off Geneva, building off the events of this week. As I told you earlier this morning, our goal here is to end the war. But it's more than just to end the war. We don't just want to end the war, we also want to help Ukraine be safe forever, so never again will they face another invasion. And equally importantly, we want them to enter an age of true prosperity.
The president has urged Ukraine to cede some of its territory to get a deal over the finish line. Overnight, he also weighed in on a corruption scandal, which has forced resignations at the highest level of the Ukrainian government.
I've spoken to them, and they're doing well. Ukraine's got some difficult little problems. They have some difficult problems, but I think Russia would like to see it end, and I think I know Ukraine would like to see it end. I think that there's a good chance we can make a deal.
A good chance to make a deal. It comes as the White House and the world watches more Russian attacks on Ukraine, including over the holiday weekend, where we saw deadly attacks take out an apartment building, including another attack north of Kyiv. Ukraine's posting, "I am grateful to the U.S., to President Trump's team, and to the president personally for the time that is being invested so intensively in defining the steps to end the war." So we know the Russians will be meeting with Witkoff, but later this week, President Putin will also be traveling out of his country, heading to India, where there's the talk of a new potential defense deal between the two countries, something the U.S., I would imagine the White House will be watching very closely.
Okay. Okay. Sunday was expected to be the busiest travel day of the Thanksgiving travel rush. Everyone flooding back to wherever they came from. But travelers across the Midwest dealt with a powerful winter storm while trying to return home. Yeah. More than 2,900 flights canceled. Ouch. 21,000 delayed. Good golly. That's crazy.
Just a brutal weekend for people trying to get home from Thanksgiving. Now, the airlines will look to recover and get back to something like normal today, but they're starting with nearly 1,000 delays, and we are watching for the potential of weather disruptions again in Chicago, parts of the Midwest, and the Northeast. The trek home from Thanksgiving ran right into Mother Nature.
I think I was supposed to take off like 7:30, and now it's looking around 11:30, quarter to 12.
The major winter storm that swept across the Midwest gridlocked the busy Chicago O'Hare Airport.
I'm Dave Malkoff. Look at this crowd at Chicago's O'Hare. This flight that's getting on board right now has been delayed since 5 a.m. Ed and Vanessa have been here since 3.
We were supposed to land at 9:30 this morning at home.
And it's already 2 p.m. Central Time.
And the next flight they booked with someone leaves at 9:45 tonight.
My original flight was yesterday, and then all of them got delayed and then canceled once I was on the plane.
More than 2,900 flights were canceled and over 21,000 delayed since Saturday.
Our flight to San Francisco was canceled, so now we are going from here to Orlando, and then we're going from Orlando to San Francisco.
The Des Moines airport was closed for hours Sunday after a Delta regional jet skidded off an icy taxiway in heavy snow Saturday night. Sunday was met with chaos on the rails. An Amtrak station was evacuated after a fire on an Acela train. Police say it was caused by a mechanical issue and spread to 3 cars.
Jeez. Yikes.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is facing new scrutiny over the
I'll tell you later.
The escalated military strikes targeting suspected drug boats in the Caribbean. The Washington Post reports after an initial strike off the coast of Venezuela in September left 2 survivors clinging to debris, a commander ordered a second strike. Citing a source, the Post reports that commander was following a directive from Hegseth to kill everybody on board. Now,
oh my goodness.
lawmakers
Oh my
from
goodness.
both parties warning the action may amount to a war crime, are calling for a full congressional investigation. Hexeth called the Washington Post report fabricated, inflammatory and derogatory. He also defended the strikes on alleged drug boats, saying the intent is to stop lethal drugs, destroy narco boats and kill the narco terrorists who are poisoning the American people.
What a terrible thing to do. Russia cracking down on VPNs with radical methods. What? Russians are now losing internet access because of the intensified fight against VPNs. When a provider detects VPN traffic, it simply cuts the connection, and the device loses its DNS settings. As a result, the internet for that user goes down completely. Nothing loads, no websites, no search engines. Changing DNS helps only briefly. Problem returns as soon as the provider blocks the VPN again. It is absolutely an attempt to censor the internet. No other way to read that. Only reason they'd be doing that is if they want control over what their people are able to look at or not. Minnesota man on taxpayer-funded Medicaid is now living in Kenya and requested his billing records. A fake Somalian company has been billing Medicaid for over $200,000 worth of fake services.
11 Investigates exposes yet another state program designed to help people in need being ransacked by alleged fraud.
Wow.
AJ Legault continues to follow where your tax dollars are going in his multi-year investigation, Recovery Inc.
So there's this company that billed under my insurance named Action Therapy LLC. They're based in Minnesota.
A Minnesota man takes to TikTok in a series of videos.
Y'all just look at the numbers.
And he emails Care 11 Investigates alleging Medicaid fraud.
They're billing. Never been there before. Never even heard of it until recently.
Muhammad Ali said he'd never heard of Action Therapy until he requested his insurance billing records. His Medicaid coverage is through taxpayer-funded Hennepin Health. When he got his records, he discovered in just 9 months, between August of 2024 and May 2025, Action Therapy billed $211,000. It was not all approved, but the records show they were paid nearly $85,000, he says, for doing nothing.
They run up them digits, man.
Muhammad currently lives in Kenya, but still questioned the charges in his name. Abbas Farah with Action Therapy emailed him, blaming the billing on a clerical mix-up and promised a full internal review.
Back-to-back days.
So, who is Action Therapy? When Care 11 first started investigating back in June, this was their website. It claimed they are psychotherapists. Right away, we found red flags. Action Therapy's website listed their non-working phone number as 012-345-6789. Then, their website went dark. In July, a new company website launched. This time, it claims they provide adult rehabilitative mental health services, known by the acronym ARMS, which focuses on real-life skills like budgeting, cooking, personal hygiene, medication management, transportation use, and healthy communication.
Seriously?
ARMS is a Medicaid program overseen by the Minnesota Department of Human Services.
The ARMS, or the Adult Rehabilitative Mental Health Services Program.
Just last week, Acting U.S. Attorney Joseph Thompson flagged ARMS as yet another program the feds are investigating for rampant fraud, as he announced federal wire fraud charges in the wake of Care 11's investigation into the Housing Stabilization Program.
The level of fraud in these programs is staggering.
We wanted to hear Action Therapy's side of their clients' allegations of fraud. So we emailed asking for an interview and also tried calling Action Therapy's listed number on their new website.
Sorry, that mailbox is invalid.
Well, that got us nowhere. Secretary of State filings confirmed a business address, which brought us to this building in Roseville.
All right, so we're looking for a place called Action Therapy.
But here's the thing, I'm having a sense of deja vu. I've already been to this address and this exact suite number months ago when we were looking at a housing stabilization company called Liberty Plus. Our investigation into housing stabilization fraud found Liberty Plus was a fly-by-night company with a website that listed employees with stock images of people named caregiver name. They used posters like this hung in bus stops and gas station bathrooms to sign up homeless people, promising to find them housing. But clients like Julie Kiros said they were given no help and remained homeless, despite large sums of money billed to Medicaid in their name.
Well, it's not just stealing money. It's taking away from people that already are poor, broke, homeless, have no options, or on their last leg.
Citing Carol Evans' reporting, agents raided Liberty Plus and its owner's home as part of a federal investigation into widespread fraud. Then, just last week, federal charges.
Anwar Ahmed Dow, the owner of Liberty Plus LLC, is also being charged here.
Now, here we are, going back to the same address and suite, looking for action therapy, accused by a client of billing for services not provided.
Suite 400, action therapy. Liberty Plus, the housing stabilization place that was rated as
Jeez, dude.
also listed here.
I wonder how many of these other companies are doing the exact same shit. I mean, look at all of them.
Housing stabilization place that was rated is also listed here.
Suite 400 is actually filled with small, individual office spaces, which rent for less than $300 per month. After wandering empty hallways, we spotted a sticker on a door.
It says action therapy.
The lights were off, the door was locked. Our questions for action therapy unanswered.
All right, well, let's get out of here. Looks like a dead end again.
Well, eventually, a lawyer for action therapy contacted us. She responded to our emailed interview request and said her clients declined to meet for an interview, but she sent a statement saying, in part, they have no ties to Liberty Plus and deny allegations that they have intentionally improperly billed clients.
Of course. The entire Somali community in the state is just one gigantic racket. Like the whole thing. Crazy. Remember when they said stuff like this? It was just, was it just conspiracy? Oh yeah, the four men with the satanic abuse ring in Australia.
That this international group were engaging in conversations and the sharing of material which depicted child abuse and the torture of children, involving symbols and rituals linked to Satanism and the occult.
Oh, where do we find this? Okay, where do I find this? I want to find the presser. I didn't know they held a presser. Give me that. So that's what I want to see. Sydney Morning Herald.
In November 2025, we were made aware of a group of men in Sydney who were part of that larger international group. We executed 5 simultaneous search warrants on Thursday, the 27th of November 2025, across Waterloo, Malabar, and Ultimo. During those search warrants, we arrested 4 males and seized a number of electronic devices. Police will allege in court that the initial examination of those devices has discovered thousands of videos depicting the abuse of live children aged between babies and 12 years of age. That this international...
Wow. Man, where do we find the press conference? What do we search for here? Men charged. Right. Yep. That's not what we want. It's the right story, but we want the press conference, dang it. Nope. Yeah, I don't know. Wonder where the heck that was dredged up from. It's a crazy story. Crazy freaking story. This wacko. Landon Germinata Mills. Looks considerably fatter now. And then 3 others. I was trying to dig into. He's got a social media presence. It's still up on Instagram. Multiple Instagram accounts. Claimed to be the founder of the Underground Media Network, an Australian investigative journalism platform committed to exposing institutional abuse, systemic failures, and the misuse of power. Yeah. Well, I wish I could find that presser. Oh well. Let's see. Drone video shows an incredible look at a historic water flume from 1888 tucked into the cliffs of Colorado's Glenwood Canyon and described as a hand-built engineering marvel. Cool. What?
A hidden piece of Colorado history was just revealed tucked into the cliffs of Glenwood Canyon. It's a wooden water flume, a late 1800s engineering feat that helped establish the town of Glenwood Springs.
Wow, that's cool.
Canyon itself was carved by the Colorado River over 3 million years, and long before trains or highways, this landscape was considered nearly impossible to cross. The flume helped carry water from No Name Creek down to Glenwood Springs. The water system delivered over 5 million gallons of water, powering homes, electricity, and the growing community. Today, drivers move through the canyon on Interstate 70, itself considered an engineering masterpiece, requiring 1.6 million pounds of concrete to safely thread a highway through this geological giant. Wow. Glenwood Canyon remains a place where nature and human engineering meet in the most dramatic way. A hidden piece.
How cool. Neato. Wow. Doesn't look too bad considering it's over 100 years old. More than 400 Minnesota government workers say Governor Tim Walz systematically retaliated against whistleblowers.
More than 400 employees of the Minnesota Department of Human Services accusing Governor Tim Walz of failing to act on widespread fraud warnings and then retaliating against whistleblowers. That department writing on X, quote, Tim Walz is 100% responsible for massive fraud in Minnesota. We let Tim Walz know of fraud early on, hoping for a partnership in stopping fraud, but no, we got the opposite response. Tim Walz systematically retaliated against whistleblowers using monitoring, threats, repression, and did his best to discredit fraud reports. Now, the claims come as some in Minnesota's Somali community continue to face allegations, with the New York Times reporting that federal prosecutors, quote, charged dozens of people with felonies, accusing them of stealing hundreds of millions of dollars from a government program meant to keep children fed during the COVID-19 pandemic. Here's Governor Walz when asked about the situation yesterday.
take responsibility for putting people in jail. Governors don't get to just talk theoretically. We have to solve problems. And I will note, it's not just Somalis. Minnesota is a generous state. Minnesota is a prosperous state, a well-run state. We're AAA bond rated, but that attracts criminals. Those people are going to jail. We're doing everything we can, but to demonize an entire community on the actions of a few, it's lazy.
Did he just say the fact that they're a well-run state attracts criminals? No. No.
President Trump has said he will be terminating the temporary protection.
Idiotic thing to say.
Status for Somalis in Minnesota, citing fraudulent money laundering activity.
Oh, yeah. He's complicit. Tim Walz knows. He's profiting somehow. Russian President Putin signs order allowing visa-free entry for all Chinese citizens. Yeah. Hong Kong police say they've arrested 13 for manslaughter over the fire. Whoa. So who? 12 men and 1 woman. It's really kind of not clear why exactly they're arresting them. Huh. Some of the exterior netting used on scaffolding did not meet fire resistance standards. A lot of people to arrest for a lack of netting standards. I don't know. I don't think that's there's got to be something else going on there. Okay. 5 minutes and 14 seconds of conspiracy, treachery, sedition, and treason, all captured on videotape. Oh, fun.
Presidency, our office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense and misinformation flowing out of this White House with a response, but these claims are outrageous enough to merit one. These bizarre allegations are ridiculous and a weak attempt at distraction. Nothing in the document issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 2016 presidential election but did not successfully manipulate any votes. These findings were affirmed in a 2020 report by the bipartisan Senate Intelligence Committee led by then-Chairman Marco Rubio. Joining me now to react is the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. Director Gabbard, give me your response to what we heard from former President Obama there. He's saying that none of this makes any sense, that this is a distraction. What do you say to that?
It's the art of deflection coming from former President Obama as well as his friends who are still in Congress today, and Senator Warner and Congressman Jim Himes, really all basically saying that exact same statement, which doesn't actually address the issue that was revealed in great detail in the over 100 documents that we released last week, and the documents that we will be releasing later this week that point to the undeniable fact that you laid out in your introduction to this segment, is that the intelligence community had one assessment, that Russia did not have the intent or capability to try to impact the outcome of the U.S. election leading up to Election Day. The same assessment was made after Donald Trump was elected by the American people as president in 2016, defeating Hillary Clinton. And it wasn't until after that pulled President's Daily Brief document that you referenced that the Principals Committee was called in the National Security Council, and President Obama then directed Obama's DNI James Clapper to lead the effort to create this new intelligence community assessment that detailed not if, but how Moscow attempted to influence the outcome of the U.S. election. So this is the thing that I think people should pay attention to, is neither the message from President Obama's office, neither the statements coming from Democrats in Congress today and their friends in the propaganda media, none of them are addressing this fact that there was a shift, a 180-degree shift from the intelligence community's assessment leading up to the election to the one that President Obama directed be produced after Donald Trump won the election that completely contradicted those assessments that had come previously. The second thing I want to address that's very important, Laura, is that you in the clip that you played, you saw John Brennan, James Clapper, James Comey stated with high confidence this January intelligence community assessment that they drafted at the direction of President Obama. The fact is that they used already discredited information like the Steele dossier. They knew it was discredited at that time, yet they used it as a source for this document that they claim to have high confidence in. They used intelligence that some of these intelligence community professionals rejected previously because of the lack of credibility and the lack of the ability to vet with any kind of confidence whether or not that information or intelligence was accurate and could be used for an assessment. There's a long laundry list of facts and intelligence reporting that directly contradict the statement coming from President Obama's office and those who are trying to deflect away from what actually happened, which was after Donald Trump was elected, led by President Obama, there was an effort to create a document that would serve as a foundation for what would be a years-long coup against President Trump, therefore trying to subvert the will of the American people who sent him to the White House in 2016.
Did referred him to the DOJ, Obama. Whether they do anything, we shall see. But expect they will. In good time. India orders smartphone makers to preload state-owned cyber safety app. Oh, that sounds sketchy. A state-owned cybersecurity app that cannot be deleted. Move likely to antagonize Apple and privacy advocates. Will Apple do it? I don't think they will. See, India's a big market, so. A lineman successfully coaxed a bear off a utility pole in Arizona after it risked being electrocuted. Eventually dropped from the pole and ran off unharmed. Dang, Mr. Lineman. Get off of there, bear. Naughty bear. Don't go up the other one. No. Bear. Bear. Don't do it. Bear. Good boy. Good boy. Good fun. All right. Christmas market in Poland. Wow. Cool. Wish I lived in Poland. You're not gonna find anything like this here. Not these days. Although hopefully that'll change. Better.
At the end of the day, the goal of every generation is to leave it better than you found it, right? And not only are we not doing that, we're going in the opposite direction. It's getting worse.
Nikki Haley's son.
I think the first step our leaders need to do is admit that we have a problem. And right now, I haven't heard any Republican leaders talk about the issues that young people are facing. Congress has been nothing more than a glorified nursing home. They either don't know the problems that we're facing or they're ignoring it. And to be honest, I don't know which one's worse. You look at jobs, 1/3 of recent college graduates are unemployed. My friend group graduated, all with great degrees in great schools, and not one of them has a job, not one. So it's frustrating because they did everything that they were supposed to do. They put in the time, the effort, the money to get educated, and they don't have a job to show for it.
Yeah. Not good.
They have to compete with foreign workers who are willing to work for half their salary and AI, which is a supercomputer, you know? So how can we compete with that? You look at the housing market, and the average first-time home buyer in America is 40 years old now. 5 years ago, it was 33. My parents bought their first house.
That is bad.
For $90,000 in the late 90s, and now it's probably worth over $400,000. So we're facing a lot of issues. And
wait, what?
My parents bought their first house for $90,000 in the late 90s, and now it's probably worth over $400,000.
Oh, probably more than that, my friend.
So we're facing a lot of issues, and you know, I think some things that we need to do is we need to ban H-1B visas, make sure corporations are hiring a certain number of Americans, and make sure they act in the interest of the American people, not just for themselves. I think that we need to stop subsidizing illegal immigrants for housing, and instead maybe look into subsidizing Americans for first-time home buyers for housing, and not allow corporations and the Chinese Communist Party to buy entire neighborhoods of single-family homes.
Or any homes, for that matter, would be nice. Senator Tom Cotton on the failed Biden immigration policies. You know that, Mr. Cotton.
Afghanistan was disgraceful, and Joe Biden's administration is to blame for that. They're also to blame for the efforts to try to cover up some of the consequences of that by rushing thousands of improperly vetted Afghans into our country. Again, the standards the CIA or the military...
God, that video is just...
military applies to work with folks in their own countries is very different from the standards we should apply to bring them to this country. And Brian, as you mentioned, some of the warning signs were there with this vicious murderer here in the United States. Kids going to school hungry and dirty. Putting aside the threat of violence, we should never admit anyone to this country if they don't have the means to provide for themselves, if they're going to be a drain on public resources. Just another example of failed immigration vetting standards that have gone back years the Trump administration is working so hard to correct and improve.
Legal alien who's been in the U.S. 3 years says she's now self-deporting. Bye-bye. Bon voyage. Have a good trip.
In the United States for 3 years. She's been raising her children on her own since January, after her husband was deported. Porque yo pensé que me iba a quedar más tiempo aquí en este país. She tells me she wanted to stay in the country.
Been here 3 whole years and can't speak a word of English.
Longer and have better education for her kids. Goa Santos says ICE agents contacted her over the phone and gave her an option to either be detained or self-deport. She believes leaving is the best choice for her family. She says, I don't want my kids to see someone come into the house with a gun or have them or her be handcuffed. Goa Santos plans to make the most of her last few days she has here. She still says she has plenty to be grateful for. She's thankful to God, for her kids and family. I asked her what she'll miss most about being here in the U.S. Las personas. The people, she tells me. She's grateful for the kind people she's met and the calmness that Tucson's brought. In the United States for 3 years. She's been raising her children on her own since January, after her husband was deported. Porque yo pensé que me iba a quedar más tiempo aquí en este país. She tells me she wanted to stay in the country longer and have better education for her kids. Goa Santos says ICE agents contacted her over the phone and gave her an option to either be detained or self-deport. She believes leaving is the best choice for her family. She says, I don't want my kids to see someone come into the house.
Oh, sorry, that looped 30 seconds ago. My bad. White House launches Media Offender of the Week section on its website. Call out fake news media. Saw this. They link to it. No, guess not. What a worthless outlet. Jeez, can't even link to the thing you're talking about. Or, I don't know, a screenshot of it maybe, something. It's basically a section of the White House website where they highlight organizations and their lies in the media each week. Highlight a chosen few offenders. Taiwanese airline has proposed surveillance flights with U.S.-made radar to support Taiwan's military in tracking Chinese warships near its coast.
Equipped with a powerful U.S.-made radar under its belly, this light aircraft is flying over Taiwan's east coast. The radar tracks Chinese warships, collecting data its operator is keen to provide to Taipei's military. Apex Aviation, better known for pilot training and charter flights, is pitching surveillance flights to the government. Retired Taiwan Navy officer and Apex reconnaissance consultant Zhou Wang describes what the company calls Project Goshawk.
We cannot only assist the National Army in making target verification in the air, but also provide target verification on the sea surface. This way, we can initially tell them that at what latitude and longitude of 24 nautical miles away, or in a certain location in the eastern seas, for example, a Luiyang 3 class destroyer is appearing now. This way, they have time to respond. Assuming the ship moves within the 24 miles sea line, the National Army will have time to respond. We only need to do an early warning action so that our National Army or government units can give an early response. This is why this equipment is so important for Goshawk.
Under its, quote, whole of society resilience initiative, Taiwan's government has invited businesses, research groups, and other organizations to take on more active roles
Taiwan's so cool.
in national security. That includes backing up communications and logistics, shoring up cyber defenses, and potentially contributing to surveillance and intelligence gathering. While common in countries such as the United States, this joint military-civilian approach is new for Taiwan. In light of daily Chinese incursions into its skies and waters, Taipei has said it aims to boost defense spending to 5% of GDP by 2030, and will introduce a 40 billion supplementary budget to fund arms purchases. Apex is seeking a role in that buildup. Wilson Cao is the company chairman.
Just watched a, right in the middle of watching, rather, great Taiwanese movie. Shot entirely on iPhone. Which is interesting. I don't know what model iPhone. Assume iPhone 15. But it looks quite good. It works for the film. It's titled Left-Handed Girl. Edited by a Westerner. Written, I believe, in part by a Westerner named Sean Baker, who is an acquaintance of mine. Interesting guy. But it's got such a cool vibe, like the streets, all the lights at night. Like, it's really interesting seeing what a phone is capable of doing these days. You forget while you're looking at it that you're watching something shot on a phone.
又是陈三明，你为什么没有读大学？你要是老是这样子的话，那我就让给别人去做哦。你又唔到处去叫我推魔鬼做代志，你听我。我们没钱了，你要去上班。你又会讲，我们自己去算啊。
Yeah, really good, fantastic movie so far. Maybe halfway through, but if you like foreign films, check it out. Good watch. Okay. Where'd we leave off here? There we are. All right. Monday morning, which means MS Now is in full meltdown mode. Of course. Like clockwork. What now?
And just put the cartoon back up.
I can't.
Put the cartoon back up?
Put the cartoon back up.
I mean...
Oh no, they're freaking out about the Franklin Target's narco-terrorist thing, really? It was hilarious. It was funny.
This comes from the Secretary of Defense.
Yep, I laughed.
at a time when subordinates, based on reportedly his orders, could be facing war crime investigations, are facing war crime investigations. And as Andy McCarthy said, that's the best case scenario. Because if it's determined this is not actually warfare, then it could be murder charges. And this is what the Secretary of Defense does while the Commander-in-Chief is saying he knew nothing about it. Just look at that and ask yourself, if you're in uniform, serving this country.
Yes, it makes me want to go blow up narco-terrorists. That's precisely what I'm thinking, yes.
And this is how the Secretary of Defense responds?
Yes, and what is the problem?
It's really one of the most critical questions that has faced the Pentagon since the beginning of this administration. Just ask yourself what they're thinking.
I know what they're thinking. They want to blow up narco-terrorists.
And
it shows you that right on the pretty picture.
And what parents...
They make it nice and easy for you.
...of men and women in uniform, what spouses, what children are thinking if this is...
I'm pretty sure they're thinking, thank you for blowing up the narco-terrorists. Now I won't overdose on fentanyl.
How unserious and clownish Secretary of Defense is in the face of some of the most serious questions the Pentagon has faced over the past year.
Oh, boy. President Trump will hold... Golly, that freaking... They just will... How do I get that to stop doing that? I don't want to talk to Grok about the headline. I don't... It is just going to piss me off if they don't stop doing that stupid little pop-up. President Trump will hold a meeting at the White House on Monday evening about the next steps on Venezuela, according to CNN. Metallica lead singer James Hetfield hasn't forgotten how tradespeople kept America running during the COVID-19 era, or the impact his dad, a truck driver, had on his life. Why, in part, the legendary band's charity, All Within My Hands, has donated more than $10 million to workforce education. My thought is that the next millionaires will be the tradesmen.
I mean, to be honest, I didn't know when I first signed up that it was through Metallica. They just called it a scholarship.
A Metallica scholarship, to be precise. Part of the over $10 million, that's right, $10 million, the band's charity, All Within My Hands, has donated to workforce education, mostly in the form of grants through trade schools and community colleges.
Not everyone is built for college, and not everyone needs college.
Metallica lead singer James Hetfield should know. He himself is the son of a truck driver, something he hasn't forgotten.
It was very evident during COVID. You know, when we weren't able to go out and do our thing, entertainment, service went, but the plumber, the electrician, the truck driver, the people that needed to help keep America running were there. And thank God for them. You know, my thought is that the next millionaires will be the tradesmen.
True.
So as a teacher.
Gosh. You know what? I already don't want to watch it. Just looking at that face. Nope. I just don't want to see it. Will AI ever make big profits? Experts weigh in as bubble fears loom. Yeah. Will it ever make big profits? The current rate, no. Nvidia earnings captivate investors as concerns over a possible AI bubble grow. I'm sure Nvidia would disagree, but It looks like a bubble. All right, let's see it.
Dow and S&P 500 fell 4 days in a row. Today, investors are watching the most valuable company in the world, chip maker NVIDIA, which reports earnings after the bell. The stock is up about 30% so far this year, but has fallen about 10% over the past couple of weeks. That, along with broader tech losses, leading.
Oh yeah, did Bitcoin take a dump again today? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There it goes. Down, down, down it goes. Oh my goodness gracious. Look at that. Will it hit 80K? Will it keep going after that? I don't know. How's gold doing? Hey, I like the look of that. Not that I have much or anything, but first appeals court decision on controversial temporary U.S. attorney installations goes against Trump 3-0. Third Circuit rejects bid to make Trump lawyer Alina Habba acting U.S. attorney. Sure, they'll continue playing that out through the courts. 4 cases to watch as Supreme Court gears up for December session. What do we got? Trump's FTC firing, campaign finance, pregnancy center subpoena. Ooh. First Choice Women's Resource Center, which runs 5 faith-based pregnancy centers in New Jersey, attempting to quash a subpoena from State AG Matthew Platkin under the First Amendment. Centers do not provide abortions. Their health services are privately funded and provided free to patients. Platkin's subpoena demanded that they turn over donors' names and contact info, as well as materials used to solicit contributions. Platkin's office has said it's part of an investigation into whether First Choice engaged in unlawful or deceptive practices. Interesting. Does sound like an interesting case. Okay. And street preachers' free speech fight. Gabriel Olivier, an evangelical Christian, uses loudspeakers and signs to protest the message that everyone sins. He calls women Jezebels and whores and men sissies as they walk by. It's one of those guys, huh? Oh, man. Officials arrested him, Mississippi, under a city ordinance that criminalizes certain demonstrations near a public amphitheater outside of a designated protest area. He was found guilty and paid a $304 fine. While on probation, he brought a federal civil rights lawsuit saying the ordinance violates his First Amendment free speech rights. Olivier appealed to the justices after lower courts rejected his lawsuit. Supreme Court's decision will turn on how it interprets the 1994 decision that they made, holding that a defendant must show their conviction was somehow invalidated in order to sue local officials for damages under the civil rights statute that Olivier invoked. Lawyers distinguish his case by noting he's not seeking damages and instead wants forward-looking relief that would prevent officials from using the law to arrest him if he returns to the amphitheater sidewalk. Okay. Sounds like a bit of a goofy one. I think the ones to watch are going to be the FTC firing, of course, and campaign finance. What's the campaign finance one? J.D. Vance and Rep. Steve Chabot challenged the limits under First Amendment speech protections, appealed to the justices after losing in the lower courts. consider striking down federal restrictions on political parties' spending in coordination with their candidates, known as coordinated party expenditure limits. Huh. Okay. Oh, this is the Christmas decoration video. That's my favorite one that she's done, I think. Yeah. I dig the vibe on this one. Well done video. Yeah. Understated. I like it. Not in your face with the music and nothing ridiculously flashy. It's just classy. I like it. Very good. Did a good job with this. All right. First trailer for the Diddy documentary, executive produced by 50 Cent. Oh, it's releasing tomorrow on Netflix.
We have to find somebody that'll work with us that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business. We're losing.
Puffy, Puff Daddy.
Dang, where'd they get that footage at? That is a nice find. I mean, where'd they get the, like 6 days before they arrest? I wonder if that was part of the court materials. I wonder.
We have to find somebody that'll work with us that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business. We're losing.
Puffy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, Sean Combs. All of these reincarnations, all those name changes are attached to really bad deeds.
Everything in life, you're gonna have people that are bad and people that are good. You have to choose your side.
Definitely gonna be watching that. I'll let you know tomorrow. Or tonight, depending on when they release it. Sometimes they'll do like night before. If you stay up till 10 o'clock, midnight or so, you'll see it pop in. Yeah, I still get Netflix through T-Mobile, so good. I don't even have to give them any money. Third Circuit rules that Alina Habba is disqualified as U.S. Attorney in New Jersey, and she can't hold the role as an acting either. Okay. That just seems vindictive. Just confirmed that New York City is harboring 7,169 known criminal illegal aliens, including hundreds of murderers and sexual predators.
Of justice. We're seeing that these criminal legal
Oh, boo. Come on.
aliens are exiting the jails and going back onto New York or Chicago or these other sanctuary streets to re-perpetuate their crimes. Today, in New York City's jails are 7,169 criminal illegal aliens. We're talking about hundreds of murders, hundreds of sexual predators, drug traffickers, the worst of the worst. Dan Goldman and these other sanctuary city politicians, they should agree to hand over those individuals, honor those detainers, and then we won't have to flood the zone with our ICE law enforcement. We won't have to put those men and women on the ground because we will get these vicious criminals out of New York City's jails.
Right. It's
war of justice. We're seeing that these criminal legal
They got to go, man. Every last one.
First Lady Melania Trump revealing this year's White House Christmas decorations this very morning with the theme "Home is where the heart is." The East Room is decorated patriotically to celebrate the upcoming 250th anniversary of the birth of the nation, while the Red Room's focus is fostering the future, and the Green Room celebrates family fun. In all, the First Lady decking the halls with over 25,000 feet of ribbon, more than 2,000 strands of lights, 120 pounds of gingerbread, and over 700 feet of garland, all to go along with 51 Christmas trees and 75 threes. That's a lot of numbers.
Dang.
But basically, we can say huge effort, and you get a little bit of a glimpse here thanks to the First Lady.
That's pretty cool. U.S. government announces agreement in principle with the United Kingdom on pharmaceutical pricing. UK to agree to a drug pricing deal with the U.S., cut rebates to NHS. Huh. Must be like with their drug manufacturers and, yeah. Like tariff-free imports of pharmaceutical products. Gotcha. President Trump talks to voters through the phone after calling Speaker Johnson during a rally for Republican Matt Van Epps in special election race in Tennessee against Afton Ben. Dude, bitch. Ugh. Okay, let's see.
The Speaker of the House taking no chances. He's right now has his speakerphone on, and I believe President Trump is trying to address the crowd. Let's listen in.
He's managing, remember, he's got a majority of three. A majority of three. And there aren't many people can do that, but we have to win the seat. We've gotten you the largest tax cuts in history, and the new bill, the great big beautiful bill, kicks in, as you know, on January 1st. Hasn't even kicked in yet. And then you have no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. If you borrow money to buy a car, you get a deduction that's never happened before. All these things kick in on January 1st. A lot of people don't know. They said, oh, they already kicked in. I said, no, it doesn't start until January 1st. So that was our first date. I just want to thank everybody. I love Tennessee, one of my all-time favorite places. And Tennessee, I guess, loves me because we've won by the biggest margins anybody's ever won by, so that's cool. But if you can go Matt Van Epps, he's a winner. He's going to be great. Don't let this stuff fool you. The Democrats are spending a fortune, and we don't want people that want to raise your taxes. She wants to raise your taxes on top of everything else. But she said two things above all else that bothered me. Number one, she hates Christianity. Number two, she hates country music. How the hell can you elect a person like that? So I just want to give my total support, and he's had it right from the beginning, to Matt Van Epps. He's going to be a fantastic congressman. He's going to represent you so well, and we'll keep our agenda going. And I'm going to make a call tonight about 7 or 8 o'clock. I'm doing a tele-rally for him tonight. So if anybody wants to listen, basically I'll be saying the same things I just said. He's fantastic, and go get him and get out tomorrow morning, get out and vote. And let's make it a sweeping victory. The whole world is watching Tennessee right now, and they're watching your district. The whole world. It's a big vote. It's going to show something, and it's got to show that the Republican Party is stronger than it's
All right,
ever been.
President Trump live at the rally with Speaker Mike Johnson, as this election is very...
Yeah, if Tennessee does not shut that wacko down, there's a deep problem. I mean, she hates yeah, as he highlighted, hates Christianity, hates country music, hates Nashville and everything that makes Nashville Nashville, and yet wants to represent Nashville. There's no way they can vote her in. Right? Right? Guess we'll see. Trump and Secretary Secretary Noem are putting an end to the idiotic policies that allowed millions of illegals and hundreds of thousands of foreigners into our country unvetted.
No, this could absolutely grow, Dana. This is evolving, especially as we do some real analysis on this. But I do think it's incredibly important for viewers to know what the prior administration was doing when it comes to vetting, especially when it came to this Operation Allies Welcome. This vetting was paper thin. They weren't doing biometric vetting. They weren't really doing criminal vetting, criminal screening, cyber screening, financial crimes. They weren't cross-referencing. They weren't looking at social media. So President Trump and Secretary Noem have completely overhauled this process to make sure we're diving in deep and seeing who are the people who are actually entering this country. As your past guests have said, almost 200,000 Afghan nationals entering this country, many of which were military-aged men. The fact of the matter is the Biden administration didn't know who was coming into our country, causing a huge national security crisis. And that's exactly what we saw the other day with this terrorist attack and then this near-terrorist attack out of Fort Worth, Texas, where this individual was threatening to blow up a building. Both of these individuals being Afghan nationals, both of them coming in under this Biden administration program.
Yep. CBS News. U.S. military jets on Saturday intercepted a civilian aircraft that flew through temporarily restricted airspace over Palm Beach, where Mar-a-Lago's located. Yep. Keep doing it. Oxford University Press has named rage bait as its word of the year, capturing the internet zeitgeist 2025. Yeah. Between that and slop. Rage bait and slop. I don't know. Go either way. Influencer. Oh, this freaking guy, man. Guy handing out machetes and alcohol to homeless people. For free.
Can I get one more? I can't. I gotta I'll take it. Yes. That's so great.
God, that guy's way too happy to be getting a machete. Hell yeah, man.
There you go. You're welcome. There you go. This is mine. You're welcome. All right. There you go.
Unreal, dude. Just anything for click, right? Rage bait. Rage bait. Right, that's the word of the year, right? Jeez, man. I really like those machetes. Here's the guy. Here's the guy behind the camera. Go back, go back.
Let's feed the homeless. Today I'm going to be making something special for people in need. Because of the government shutdown being in effect, there are a lot of struggling people out here. Everyone deserves a good meal, and I'm very grateful to be able to use my privilege.
That's terrible.
To give back however I can.
Terrible. 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 Oh, dear me. All right, let me see what else I can find here in our remaining 15 minutes. Oh, that looks fun. Oh my goodness, pregnant girl doing motorcycle stunts. No comment.
A lot, and I saw the white boy walk in,
And then like my natural human reaction and instinct was like, shoot her, shoot her. And everyone was looking at me crazy. Nobody was paying attention. And then my cousin was next to me, so I throw him on the ground. And then that's when he realized, oh, it's not a prank. I was like, why would I even prank like that? Who does that, right? And then nobody listened to me until they started hearing the shooting. Bah, 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 bah. So then we started, you know, running. And then
it's the California shooting, or?
It got to a point where we got to the corner, and there was no exit at the corner. And then there was like, I remember there was like a lady, Asian lady trying to hand me her kid. So I was like, what? I was like I'm trying to like not get shot and not die. I'm like kicking the window. I kicked it at least 3 times, like crazy kicks. I used to play soccer, so I could kick pretty hard. Nothing was working. I look around, I pick up the bowling ball, I like yank it, it finally breaks. I tackle it on some football, you know, S-H-I-T, and I don't really like football. But then as soon as that happens, everyone starts getting out that window.
So that hole is from a bowling ball?
Yeah. I hope I don't get charged for it. I'm just the Mexican Spider-Man. At this point, right?
That was great. Great interview. I have to assume that must have been at the California shooting. Like, what?
The name is Mamdani. M-A-M-D-A-N-I. The name is Mamdani.
Oh my gosh.
M-A-M-D-A-N-I. You should learn.
Sharia law starts now.
They're fried, man. No helping them. Okay, what do we got here? Somali! More Somalis. Just in case you missed it, Mohammed, a Somali illegal alien, was arrested for raping a woman to death outside of her South Nashville church earlier this year.
On the steps of a church in South Nashville, a woman died after being sexually assaulted while she was unconscious.
Our Dryden quickly talked to people who work just feet away from where this happened.
It was actually the Nashville Fire Department that was driving by around 9:30 last night when they saw the sexual assault taking place right here on these church steps. Security video that they have
On the steps of a church.
captured everything that led up to it.
Mohammed raped a woman to death on the steps of a church.
Just before this, police say the church's cameras show a woman walking unsteadily towards the steps. A man who they say is 39-year-old Mohammed sits down beside her and tries to touch her as she pushes him away. Then they say she starts to go in and out of consciousness. That's when Mohammed picks her up, then repeatedly assaults her. The fire department stepped in and she was taken to the hospital where she died.
Wow.
On the steps of a church in South.
They gotta go, man. Every one of them. Goodbye. Okay.
They will not seek the death penalty against a man charged with beheading a co-worker in front of that co-worker's family.
So that's the plan, at least for now.
What?
Now, from prosecutors to the judge presiding over that capital murder trial, the shocking violence taking place in broad daylight. It happened in September in front of witnesses. There were also cameras. Fox 4's Sean Rabb in our newsroom now with this story. Sean.
Yeah, so no trial date has been set yet, but the undocumented Yordanis Cobos Martinez, a Cuban native, learned today the state will likely not seek the death penalty for the gruesome crime. Shackled and suited out in a tan jail jumper, shadowed by sheriff's deputies, Yordanis Cobos Martinez made his first appearance in a Dallas courtroom. September 10th, Dallas police arrested Cobos Martinez about 30 minutes after he allegedly...
So beheading someone in front of their own in front of their children doesn't get you the death penalty? What does? Okay. Idea. This all looks silly. What's that? Ah, more of the bullshit in New York City. Yes, let's see it.
War of justice. We're seeing that these criminal illegal aliens are exiting the jails and going back onto New York or Chicago or these other sanctuary streets to re-perpetuate their crimes.
Yep.
Today, in New York City's jails are 7,169 criminal illegal aliens. We're talking about hundreds of murderers, hundreds of sexual predators, drug traffickers, the worst of the worst. Dan Goldman and these other sanctuary city politicians, they should agree to hand over those individuals, honor those detainers, and then we won't have to flood the zone with our ICE law enforcement. We won't have to put those men and women on the ground because we will get these vicious criminals out of New York City's jails.
Right. It's a
war of justice.
All right. Let's see. We got anything from the official sources here? Anything that isn't Christmas ornaments this morning? I think we've seen enough of that. Nice as it looks.
This morning, some states seeing gas prices below $3 for the first time in years.
Hey!
Let's get to CNN's Matt Egan for the good news on this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to finally be here with some good news on the cost of living front. So for the first time in 4.5 years, gas prices are averaging $3 a gallon nationally, according to AAA, down by 7 cents in just the past week. Gas prices were low a year ago as well, but they're even cheaper now. This is encouraging to see because late last month there was a period where gas prices were actually higher this year than last year, but that has reversed again, and now we've just fractions of a penny away from breaking below $3 a gallon. Now, as you mentioned, we've got 20 states across the country where the average is actually less than $2.75 a gallon, including North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Colorado as well. Certainly nice to see this. Why is this happening? Well, it all comes down, of course, to oil prices, right? Oil prices are about $59 a barrel this morning. If you look back in history, on December 1, 3 years ago, we're looking at $81 a barrel for oil, $67 even last year.
So, why is my gas not 10% cheaper? Why is it 6 cents cheaper than last year?
So significantly cheaper, and that's because right now supply of oil continues to outpace demand. It's U.S. supply. Production in the U.S. is at all-time highs. It's higher than last year, but only a little bit higher. OPEC is the big story, though, right? Saudi-led OPEC, they are ramping up production substantially this year. They've signaled that they plan to pause those output hikes next year. But for now, look, this is a good story when it comes to the affordability crisis. Gasoline, it's relatively cheap.
All right.
Gonna have to keep going. That's not good enough. I'm gonna have to insist on like $2 gas, please. $2 gas. Can we go $2 gas? Oh God. Well, it's just Christmas ornament stuff there. All right. Pittsburgh had a typical $20,000 markdown with about 9% of the metro's typical home value, which was the largest relative discount among major markets in Zillow's report. Home buyers score record discounts as sellers slash prices nationwide. Really? Really?
Forbes media chairman and editor-in-chief, the one and only Steve Forbes. Steve, welcome to the show.
Good to be with you. Nice to see you.
So nice to see you, as always. You heard some of the comments from Bill Ackman. What are your thoughts?
Well,
they're going to have to crater to get to where they need to be at this point. A whopping 26% of listings showing price cuts of what, a whopping $20,000, whoop-de-doo, is nothing. It is a drop in the bucket. Now, if it keeps going, we can reassess. But for now, that's not. It's really not that big a deal, sadly. United States is very satisfied, Trump says, with the results displayed through hard work and determination in the country of Syria. We're doing everything within our power to make sure the government of Syria continues to do what was intended, which is substantial, in order to build a true and prosperous country. One of the things that has helped them greatly was my termination of the very strong and biting sanctions. I believe this was truly appreciated by Syria, its leadership, and its people. It is very important that Israel maintain a strong and true dialogue with Syria, and that nothing takes place that will interfere with Syria's evolution into a prosperous state. The new president of Syria, Ahmed al-Sharaa, is working diligently to make sure good things happen and that both Syria and Israel will have a long and prosperous relationship together. This is a historic opportunity and adds to the success already attained for peace in the Middle East. Cool. All right. Anything else last minute here? Let's see. While we were sleeping peacefully in our beds in the wee hours of Sunday morning, ICE was descending on an illegal night spot in San Antonio, corralling 150 Tren de Aragua terrorists. Not bad.
America at 3 a.m. on
a food truck front.
America at 3 a.m. on Sunday morning, over 450 federal agents conducted a massive raid that detained more than
overwhelming show of force. Jeez, wow.
150 people connected to Tren de Aragua, the Venezuelan gang that's been terrorizing American cities. We're talking about blasts, smoke, helicopters, and armored vehicles descending on what looked like an innocent food truck operation in San Antonio. But here's what's really shocking. This wasn't just a food truck park. It was a criminal headquarters with a makeshift nightclub in the back where gang members were conducting illegal activity.
These underground nightclubs are like, this is a repeat kind of theme I've been seeing across the country. The Haitians are doing it. A lot of these foreign communities, they like these underground nightclubs. It's happening all over the place in Springfield. All of these Facebook groups on Springfield, Ohio, and all the Haitian madness that goes on there. And this is one of the things that they see happening up there all the time. These freaking illegal nightclubs where they're like running drugs, prostitution, and like trafficking people. It's disgusting.
Because here's what nobody wants to talk about. Tren de Aragua has been using legitimate businesses as fronts for their operations, and this raid shows how deep their infiltration really goes. Dos tacos carne asada, por favor, aka 2 steak tacos to go, please.
Yeah. All right. Well, I suppose that does it for me. I think Sir Fedora is in. Yes, he is. How you doing, man?
I am doing wonderful.
Good.
Got some things out of the way. Got some sleep this weekend.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
That's always good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
I actually got about, let's see, 11 hours, which is over the last 3 weeks. I think I've been averaging about 2 a day.
Oh, you're catching up then. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's good.
definitely.
Cool.
Yep. So just so you know, I'm planning today. We had a couple of sessions of call-ins with Google Meet, but people were kind of hesitant to use that. So probably towards the end of the week, I'll have my system up to be able to use. That's going to be on my server. That doesn't have anything to do with Google. And today I'm going to be helping people out with getting their computers running right.
Oh, there you go. Cool.
Going over some things. Then I'm going to I don't have it completely done, but I'm going to have a page where they can go to and download a full video series on a a tool that I recommend and to pretty much do anything you want with your computer to keep it nice and clean.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, but you have a great day, and we'll go on from here.
Let me pop my share off here. There we go. Yeah, you have a good show, man.
Yep. Get hold of me sometime. I'll have a chat.
Yeah, I shot you a message back on where it was.
Yep,
I forget what
got
platform,
that.
but okay.
I didn't know if I had to do that for you to see the messages or what.
I don't know why I wasn't seeing it. I saw that you sent another one a while back, but I don't know. I don't know what the deal was.
Yeah, that was the first one that I sent, and then on your server. I have no clue whatsoever about Discord, so I'm kind of learning.
I'm relearning Discord too. It's been years since I last used it, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll get on with the show.
Cool. Have a good show, man.
Yep. You too.
All right, guys. Well, that does it for me. I will be back with you tomorrow evening. I don't think I'm covering for anyone the rest of the day today, so I will see you tomorrow evening. You guys have a wonderful rest of your 1st of December, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.